Okay, it looks like this thing's ready to go. Welcome back, everyone, to the next episode of building my stock watch list. And the first disclaimer I want to make tonight is that my allergies have been quite bad today, so I'll probably be using that mute button a little bit, but I'll just try to power through all of this. Okay. So, I'm going to try to make this relatively quick due to that. So I'll just start with the disclaimer that first of all, I'm not a professional, obviously, and second of all, this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you what I do, picking out a watch list of 25 stocks from the 100 most liquid stocks in the market. So today was a bit of it wasn't a complete disaster because the close wasn't terrible, but overall, it was not a good day for the market. It was a good day to be out like I am right now. So let's start with NVIDIA gapping down to the 50-day and holding in there strong, but still coming into a make or break moment here. I'm going to put this on the watch list. Tesla, kind of building this volatility contraction here, but since it's not at the top of the range, I'm not feeling as bullish on this one as I normally would. Still, I'm going to keep an eye on this one, and I'm going to put this on the watch list. And I'm going to fix myself here real quick, because it's just been ridiculously bad. I don't know why my allergies just decided to pop off right now of all days, but whatever. Okay, I'm back. Let's keep this going. Let's just power through. I actually wanted to do quite a bit of commentary tonight, but I think I'm just going to try and get the video out there. So Apple, only a relative strength of 49. Palantir, it's been sitting on the 50 for a while. Now, if you look at just today in isolation, you would say that this was showing relative strength, but we know that it's not really been showing relative strength for a while. It's been it was one of the first ones to go, which makes sense because leaders are usually the first ones to go. It's been hugging this 50, but we need to see more bounce before we can consider anything on Palantir. That being said, it's a high-powered stock, so I'm going to put it on the watch list. Microsoft drifting down to the 50. AMD pulling back to the 50. This one seems to be falling apart a little bit worse than some of the other semis. I say that, but the other ones did come down to their 50 as well, so just kind of falling in line with the other semis. Amazon, a little too slow. Meta, I've said my piece on them. If you were to buy Meta, this probably wouldn't be a bad spot to try it, just coming down to the 50, but for me, I'm just not too bullish on this company from a fundamental perspective. I don't think that their AI is very impressive, and I don't know, is Instagram really gonna lead the day? I mean, it is one of the Mag 7s, so of course it's going to take money, but this one, only an 86 relative strength. It's not that special to me. Google, is that a glitch? I'm kind of waiting for this to resolve itself. It looks like it's not a glitch. Let's see if there's any news on Google here that's causing it to be up so far. As I've said, I think Google's the second best AI company right now behind OpenAI. So yeah, I was more bullish on them fundamentally than Meta, but I did not expect to see this after the close. I'm going to go ahead and see what the deal is here. Well, obviously a stock like Google isn't going to move up on no news, so yeah. It's kind of what I asked for in the first place, Copilot. It must be this Alphabet won't have to divest Chrome or Android. Now, I didn't even know that they owned Android. That shows how much I know about fundamentals, but So yeah, it must be this ruling that they don't have to get rid of Chrome or Android. So I've actually heard a lot of people say that if Google did have to divest some companies, like YouTube for example, it would make both companies more valuable as separate components. So that was kind of interesting to me. But yeah, I'm sure the only ones who really have a lot to lose from something like that is like the officers of YouTube, the CEO and stuff. So that's probably why it won't happen. But yeah, Google's been trending upward for a while. It broke out into all-time highs. This one I'm more bullish on than the rest. I kind of have a hard time believing it's gonna all just hold this gap and fly up, but you know, definitely one of the better Mag 7s. This one, we're not gonna waste time on that. AVGO, we have earnings Thursday night. So that's probably just a wait and see. Same thing as the other Google. Eli Lilly, that's not worth time. Robinhood, this looked like it was going to be a disaster day for Robinhood, but it did push up a little bit, turned around intraday. This one, I still have my eye on it just because it's been such a strong leader and, you know, just building some consolidation under and then pulling back up over might be a good spot to try it. And I feel a sneeze coming on, so I'm going to just real quick mute my mic. Okay, sorry. That should not be. This should not be a common problem for me. I mean, I do have allergies here and there, but they're usually not this bad. Holy cow! So yeah, this one obviously goes on the watch list. And I don't know if I put. What's that? Yeah, I probably want to put this on. I haven't even been doing what the whole point of this video is, which is to put things on the watch list. Okay, so now we're down to MicroStrategy. Bitcoin's weak, and this has been relatively weak to Bitcoin, so not going to put that on. Netflix, kind of living underneath the 50, but not straying too far. This one could pop up above, but it's been a little slow, so I'm going to just move on. The Bitcoin theme, just not doing it right now with Coinbase. Intel, not going to waste time. Anything I'm not going to put on the watch list, I'm probably not going to waste time with it tonight, just because I don't want to talk for much longer. APP, I don't think I had this. I must have forgotten to add this to my watch list because I don't remember seeing anything about this today, but yeah, this is definitely showing another sign of strength. I talked about how I'm becoming more bullish on this name again after this blow-off action, and yeah, this thing looks like it wants to break into new highs. This was a tennis ball for sure. It bounced back up. It's looking pretty good, so put that on the watch list. And this one, we're not going to spend time on that, or that, or that. Oracle, you know, it didn't have another disaster day, but it's already kind of shown us its hand that is probably not going to do very well. Or it just doesn't look like something we want to be involved in right now. Micron, it's maybe starting to contract a little bit, but I have a feeling that by the time it's actually ready to buy, it's probably going to be right before earnings. So it's probably not one that's going to be on the top of our radar just because of that. Palo Alto, this one, yeah, AI was definitely one of the hardest hit themes today, and you can see this one gapping down. It doesn't look like that bad of a day just because we've already come so far, but, you know, down 9.4%, that's definitely a big loser. Visa, yada yada. Alibaba, this was probably the highest relative strength stock, at least in terms of liquid stocks in the market. You can see up 2.5% today after that spectacular earnings reaction on Friday. This one, if it wasn't so jumbled and gappy, I probably would have tried this one. It's just, I don't think it's for me. With the way it moves there. Jeez. Sorry guys, this is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's keep going. Gotta speed up a little bit here. This one, probably one of the better looking stocks in the market. I just didn't buy it because I don't really love these foreign stocks. Okay. SoFi holding in there. I thought this might have been the straw that breaks the camel's back, but it's still holding in there. I don't know how far that one can run, but it's still looking good. Reddit was a tennis ball today. Still looks very good. And showing some strength after hours as well. I think if this exit this range, it's probably a buyable one. GEV, not good to see. I would bet if you looked at VST and CG, they're probably showing similar action. A gap down under the 50, huge volume. This is a very bad sign for GEV. Now it's been such a great stock that I'm not going to write it off completely, but this one's certainly coming under some selling pressure right now. Uber, quietly riding this 50-day line. Might be moving a little slow, but I'll add it. Boeing right at all-time highs. Not the most powerful stock, but it's looking good. Spotify under that Netflix playbook, showing a little more relative strength than Netflix. MasterCard. Okay, this is just terrible action. Snowflake has been looking good. It held in there. It didn't give up much of what it gained. So yeah, it really shot up past this point, and I think that... So the issue with this one is that... Well, the issue with my strategy in general, paying attention to all these liquid stocks, is a lot of them are concentrated in the AI theme, and as we saw with DeepSeek, you don't want to get over invested into one theme. So I kind of lean towards a few other AI stocks a little more than this one. That being said, this one does look very strong. I think like it barely gave up any of this gap. It didn't, it hasn't filled the gap at all, even on a day like today. I think breaking over this point, you could definitely make a case for buying this one, and maybe I will. I need to add it to my watch list if I'm going to do that, though. Circle, another one of these IPOs that just had a terrible day. Like, goodness gracious. I'm not even going to put that one on my watch list. Citigroup, there's been a lot of shakeouts in this name up at highs here. I saw it down here and I thought it was over. Like, I thought that the run was coming to an end. It had gotten rejected, but there were more buyers that stepped in on this one. So it's not a fast mover by any means, but might be some nice diversification if you have too many high-powered stocks to get into something like this. It has been, taking little licks here and there, though, so it's not a sure thing by any means. This one, you know how I feel about that. And biotechs in general, really. Cybersecurity, not ready to make a comeback, it looks like. Oklo, showing some buy-in on that gap down there. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a little bit of a bottom there, a higher low. And hopefully it can just provide some sort of tight area for an entry. That is... I do consider this to be somewhat tied in with the AI theme, though, but showing a lot of relative strength to something like GEV, for example, which I think is a comparable name. I'm going to put it in my watch list. Yeah, I talk so much that I probably forget to put a few of these on my watch list, which isn't good. Well, this is terrible for Pepsi. Roblox showing some surprising strength. I'm not feeling good about this one, but I'll put it on just to see what happens. Arista Networks, I don't think I can go very long on this one because I just need to get through this video right now with these stupid allergies, but how far are we? Yeah, we're getting down there, but I think this is probably the best looking setup in my top 100 that I pay attention to. Didn't give up anything. Didn't even undercut the lows of this range during this terrible day. And it came right back up to highs, so if we could see a breakout of here, I really do think this one's in for a good run. And I had compared this one to A-Lab, thinking they were kind of be similar movers. We'll get to A-Lab. A-Lab was not a tennis ball. So sometimes the better stock just differentiates itself. G Aerospace, kind of similar look to Boeing here. A nice shakeout here. Getting pretty tight. The thing about this one is it doesn't move very fast, so it looks like it's getting tight, but it might just be kind of resting a little bit. So I'm not going to get too excited about that one, but I will add it. Shopify, this one bounced pretty well. Got hit a little bit harder than some of the others, but there was a lot of buying today. So this one I think is another good one that doesn't really fall into the AI theme, that but can still show you a lot of strength. So this one I like a lot. Mongo Database, this was one of the only green ones. Like partway through the morning, everything was red besides MDB. Now it did finish. Well, it actually ended up finishing up, so that's a good sign. This one, I'm not really sure if it's for me, but showing some pretty good strength here. Carvana, another retail name. Yeah, just kind of playing around, trying to break out of this IPO base. I do think it probably gets out of there. Is this the... Yeah, this is the all-time high, but it didn't close at an all-time high, so still looking for an all-time high close, I think. But yeah, this one, I kind of feel like it is coming to the end of its run, but it hasn't even broken out of its IPO base, so, well, I shouldn't call it an IPO base because it's been around for a while, but it hasn't even broken out of this base, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, but I don't feel super great about that one. Yeah, this one would have been a great short right here. In A-Lab, I talked about A-Lab. As I'm looking at it now, it did recover somewhat more than what I had seen. This one was really getting hit hard early in the day. Fortunately, buyer stepped in. It did not undercut the lows here. So this one, it might still be constructive. It might just be like a product of, this action might just be a product of this being a smaller name and moving a little bit faster. So maybe this one isn't showing necessarily relative weakness, maybe just showing a little more volatility on a day-to-day basis. I'm not out on this one by any means. It was just a little bit alarming when you looked and you saw this one streaking downwards. So I'll keep it on the radar. This one, this is a slow mover, but it looks pretty dang good. Only 69 relative strength. I only put 4 stocks at a time in my portfolio at max, so probably not going to waste a slot on something like this. But it does look good if you're, that kind of investor that just likes to hold things. So CyberArk showing some strength, but this one I just don't really, I don't know, it's slow, and I heard that stuff about, let me actually just figure out what's going on, because I don't like to just sit here and be ignorant. So, if every shareholder is going to receive $45 in cash plus 2.20, 5 shares of PANW. Is this one just moving with PANW now? Okay, so that's why we don't want to be in this one, because now it's just moving based on PANW's price. Rocket Lab, this is another one that I really feel could be a decent one. It's coming up to the highs on this hourly chart. If I had seen that, then that might have been a decent spot to buy it, but it didn't. I don't usually like to buy things at the end of the day, but you can see it got really tight at the end of the day. I don't think it's just going to come streaking out from here, but I do feel maybe if we got a tight day, it could break out. Yeah, this one, you definitely don't want to try to get in front of the breakout because this is a fast mover. It can go back in the other direction quickly, but I do like what I'm seeing here. And I think that if this one continues to tighten up, it could really blast out of here. And it seems like they're getting into semiconductors as well, so it's not just purely a rocket stock. Now, one thing you do have to be careful is there's a lot of like micro catalysts, like their rocket launches and stuff, whether those succeed or fail, can swing things around. So if you buy this one, you just want to know what's going on with it. This one's a steady mover, but I'm good on that one. I think we're getting close to the bottom. Yeah, this one's not worth paying attention to, just because it's such a saturated space, that AI infrastructure, same with KLA. And that takes us to the end. So what I forgot to do last video is actually make sure that yep, I'm one too high, so we're going to strike one of these out of here. Let's take out AVGO. Actually, I just want to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to buy right before earnings. I just want to keep an eye on it. So what do we want to take out? Let's take out Boeing just because I don't see myself buying that one. Right? That's the move to take out Boeing, I think. Yeah, let's take out Boeing. So that's 25 stocks. That's the watch list. Maybe sometime I'll do an hourly. I'll look at the hourly charts because I do think those are insightful. But right now I've kind of had it with these stinking allergies. So I think I'm going to be done with this video. And I'm just going to let it run for a little while longer so it doesn't cut it off early. But I appreciate anyone who watches, and I will see you next time. So thank you.